Hello guys, welcome to our GPT for Grand Prix Orlando here at Top 8 Gaming. As always, I am Ryan. Today we have a standard GPT for you. We have 13 competitors today, so we're going to be doing 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 4. Yeah, pretty good turnout. Our camera is acting funny apparently for some reason. Hopefully that doesn't continue. So yeah, we got this is probably one of our better turnouts actually, which is awesome. So standard, hopefully on the upswing. We're going to be starting off today. We're just having our head judge go through the rulings here for us, just with the players upstairs, in terms of how many rounds, time, all that fun stuff that you have at a judge meeting, which I'm sure everyone's been to. Today we are starting off with a slower match. We've got just quickly putting them in here. Tim, who's going to be on your right, we actually saw him Friday night on camera there. He is on black-white control. His opponent in this case, Neil, is on blue-black control. So 2 different black control decks, splashing a different color here. Neil, of course, going for the more counter-heavy route, whereas Tim kind of going with some different main deck creatures here. So, so looking here at the lists, Neil's got a bunch of little one-ofs here and there. They just kind of, it looks like almost like he's just thrown in kind of. Tim, on the other hand, has a pretty solid list. Only a couple one-ofs. He's got a one-of main deck Thalia to fight off combo, which might be here. I'm actually not sure what all's in the room. I know if you were watching on Friday, I did play 4 colors to Healy combo. I don't believe anyone else was playing it that day, but someone might have it today. Who knows? A one-of Ailey, a one-of Archangel. Yeah, so pretty stock black-white list. I guess there was an article, posted. A couple articles posted recently about black-white control. So Tim's taking with that. Neil, on the other hand, he's been playing blue-black for quite a while, actually. He kind of... I don't think he's been playing very, very long. He picked standard, and he went with a blue-black deck, and he's just stuck with it ever since. So it's pretty interesting deck. All right. This actually was a match that we had on camera on Friday night. It's a rematch we're doing here, it looks like, instead, though. So we'll see what happens. I'm not too sure who's on the play. Tim's opening hand. Looks like he has 3 Planeswalkers, a Selfless Spirit, 2 lands, and a Fumigate. He's got a Obnixilus, a Gideon, and a Liliana in his hand. So those are the 3 unique ones he has in his deck, and he's found them all in his opener here. How good of a hand that is, I don't know. It looks like he's keeping, however. His 2 lands are Forsaken Sanctuary and Concealed Courtyard. So he does have his colors fixed. There's no problem there.
Yeah. That was home.
Wow.
Is it fixed?
All right, we're underway here. So Tim's going to start it off. He is keeping Forsaken Sanctuary. Now, if he is able to resolve the Liliana, he's in a great place. Now, Neil has put in a few more creatures. He's playing some main deck Gifted Aetherborns. He's got some Torrential Gearhulks, of course. It looks like he has a one-of Gonti, which I really like. A one-of Kalidas in the main. So not a whole lot of creatures. Tim plays his own copy of Gifted Aetherborn. This is a card that's been popping up a lot more lately, as it's really just good at combating different aggro strategies. Really good against green-black decks. 2/3 body is pretty big, and the Death Touch is nothing to scoff at. So we'll see here what Neil has. So Neil has an Aether Hub, so he's going to have all his colors here. No problems there. Did start, it looks like, on a Sunken Hollow tapped, so kind of already had his colors. Yes. Live 12 is incorrect there. We got it fixed, though. There we go. So Tim he kept a 2-lander. Now, he did just draw a flip card. I know he's main deck. Oh, he found a land. Okay, he has a plains in his hand. Okay, so here's an attack for 2 with that Gifted Aetherborn. Neil debating here what he wants to do. He might have something like a Grasp of Darkness in his hand. He does play 3 copies main deck. Yeah, he does have that Grasp of Darkness. So he's just going to go ahead and kill that creature now. This is big, though, because Tim is not going to be able to resolve the Liliana. And she's massive in these kind of control mirrors here. There she is there. So Tim just ticks up, nothing being targeted, of course. Just plussing to get her higher. Neil plays a Choked Estuary and reveals a island to Tim, so it does come into play untapped. But the story here is going to be that Liliana, if Neil can answer it, he's in a good spot. It looks like he's playing 2 main deck copies of Ruinous Path. And that's it. So he does go ahead and play his own Liliana, which is important, so he can keep up pressure. But Tim has advantage here with being able to ultimate her first. Now, does Tim have any answer to an already resolved Liliana? Let's see here. Yeah, Tim plays Westvale Abbey, so that's fine. Tim is not playing any copies of Ruinous Path, it looks like. However, he is playing 3 copies of main deck Anguish and Making. He's also playing this card here, Gideon, Ally of Zendikar. This is big, as this is going to be a continual threat that Neil is going to struggle to fight through. These are the cards that Tim wants to resolve, for sure. They're pretty important, so he's going to go ahead and make a Knight Ally, a 2/2 Knight Ally for 0, and then he's going to tick up Liliana, targeting nothing again, and pass the turn back. So Neil can control the Knight token. He's going to make it a 0/1 for the turn. However, Gideon itself is the problem here. Now, if Neil has one of his 2 main deck copies of Ruinous Path, he's in a great spot. Well, I shouldn't say great, because he has to choose which one to kill here. He has choice between, of course, Liliana or Gideon. He does have the path. He is going to choose Gideon. I think that's definitely the correct choice. Gideon poses a much larger threat. In fact, being a way to kill Liliana on the following turn. However, if Tim has a 5th land, we could see Ob Nixilis come down here as well. And really, that's like the ideal curve, I think, for Tim. So, ticks up Liliana on nothing. Selfless Spirit. Now that's... I'm not sure how much I like playing that, as it just doesn't do anything. Liliana can just kill the Spirit. He follows that up with his 1 of main deck copy of Ailey. There she is there. So I do like this card. 2/3 with Death Touch is pretty nice. Same kind of reason that the Gifted Aetherborn is decent. You know, it has lifelink, of course, attached to the Aetherborn. But the Death Touch on the 2/3 is pretty nice. Plus, her abilities aren't anything to really be laughed off here. He's got 1, sacrifice another creature you get equal to its toughness. 1 white and a black. Sacrifice another creature. Exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only if you have at least 10 more life than your starting life total. So if he's at 30, he gets to just pop off a permanent for free by sacrificing a creature and paying 3 mana. So not bad at all. Neil does tick up on the Selfless Spirit, of course, and it does just die. Debating here what he wants to do with his 5 of mana. I don't like that ordering. That was an unfortunate mistake. He should have played Kalidas first. He would have got a zombie out of the deal, unless Tim sacrificed the Spirit in response to Kalidas. Tim does find his 5th land. It's a copy of Forsaken Sanctuary, so it will come into play tapped. I believe his hand at this point is Ob Nixilis and Fumigate. I don't know if he has a 3rd card or not. But Liliana here is threatening to go off next turn. And once her ultimate resolves, it's really hard to fight through that. I don't want to say impossible, but it's near that for sure. Neil just reading over Ailey. Not a card you see very often. She's been popping up a little more recently. Yeah, Tim's sitting on a copy of Fumigate and a copy of Obnixilis. Fumigate, I imagine, is a card that Tim will be happy to board out come Game 2 and 3, if there is a Game 3. Ticking up on Kalidas, making it a 1-2, or a 1-3, rather. Now, Ailey is a free attack here because Kalidas can't kill her, and if he decides to block, Kalidas will die thanks to Ailey's Death Touch. The Knight token, there's no point. It's just a free life point for Tim at that point, or for Neil at that point. It looks like he's just going to pass the turn. He's going to leave Ailey back, which I think is fine. This plays around one removal spell, thanks to having 2 blockers available to protect Liliana. At this point, Tim rather is just focusing on, okay, my game plan is now Liliana minus, get her emblem, and win the game from there. There's a copy of Gaia Reach Sanitarium from Neil. We're going to tick up his Liliana, and it's going to target one of the 2 creatures. Doesn't really matter which one. Looks like he's chosen the Knight. I would have liked to have seen him choose Ailey there just because it turns off the Death Touch ability from her. But okay, that's a good card. Grasp of Darkness. Now Neil is playing 1 main deck copy of Disallow, so if he has that here, it's going to be very good, as that will stop the Liliana trigger. Here we have it. Do we have a Disallow? I don't think we do. No, we do not. That's unfortunate for Neil. So Liliana's emblem says at the beginning of your end step, put into play X 2/2 black zombies, where X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. So it starts by giving you 2 unless you already have a zombie in play, and assuming any of those live, you go to 3 or 4, and it quickly spirals out of control. Okay, Grasp of Darkness is going to kill Kalidas here. It's pretty important. Now, there is a copy of Fatal Push in Neil's hand that I can see. So he may decide to push this alien response, which would give him a zombie. There's also a copy of Torrential Gearhulk and Anticipate. So he's going to start by responding with Anticipate. It looks like he's found Negate. So my guess is he's going to negate this copy of Grasp of Darkness. Excuse me. He's going to start by pushing Ailey. Tim can have the choice here if he wants to sacrifice his Knight token. He can, but I don't think it's really worth it. That will exile Ailey thanks to Kalidas' ability. That's a replacement, but it can't be missed as far as I know. Yeah, Ailey has to be exiled. Neil gets a 2/2 zombie. It looks like he actually goes ahead and he lets the Grasp resolve, though. Interesting. Okay, so Tim, 3 open mana here available, only 1 black source. So Ruinous Path isn't something that Neil could be concerned about right now. I mean, it's unless Tim plays with the land, he's not really going to be able to threaten this Liliana. I believe we're going to end up seeing dueling emblems here, which, I mean, I guess they can kind of check themselves. Now, one thing of note here is Neil gets to start with 1 zombie in play, thanks to the Kalidas trigger. Yeah, we're gonna move to end step here, and we're gonna get. I believe these are Batman and Robin cards that Tim has as his 2/2 zombies. Okay, so Neil has untapped here. We're gonna have the same thing happen here. So we have dueling emblems now. This will be interesting. Again, the upside here is Neil does already have a zombie in play. So his first one is going to give him 3 zombies, giving him 4 creatures total. Tim's second one will give him 4. Neil's second one will give him 6. So Neil is slightly ahead on the board position, but we also know Tim has a copy of Fumigate in his hand. Danny Peets, thank you for the follow. Surprise! We thought you were MTG foil guy, but apparently you're not. We'll send you your 10% off discount code at Top 8 Gaming. Thank you, Dan. Welcome to the channel. That's not how the emblem works. You should have 3 extra ones. Because that is a 2/2 zombie. He didn't get their number of zombies there. I don't know how that's going to work. He should have a 4th zombie in play. Liliana's emblem does say you get 2 plus the number of zombies you control. There should be a 4th one there, though, Martin, unless he can miss that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got it fixed up. Perfect. So yeah, that's going to be for that. We're going to have a lot of zombies in play. All right. There's a copy of Torrential Gearhulk in Neil's hand, so that's not going to be the worst. Now, Tim looks to have drawn his one of copy, or maybe 2 actually. Yeah, it's just 2 of in the main deck. But he has a copy of Gaunty, Lord of Luxury in his hand. This is a card he just added to his main deck today. I like its spot in this this matchup, though. Second copy of Liliana comes down. I have to imagine Neil's going to negate this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you want to let your control opponent have a second copy of Liliana here. And I mean, as I mentioned, this is going to be a long game. Why did Neil gain energy? I don't understand what... Oh, he's glimmering. Okay, I see. Never mind. And yeah, Tim gets 4 more zombies here. Yeah, he's going to gain a lot of life out of nowhere, I feel, is what's going to happen here. Tim does have the reset button, so he does get the option to... yeah, exactly, Billy the Kid. Put some zombies in your zombies here. Yeah, there's 6 more zombies for Neil. We've gotten to the point of the game where it's draw, go, I get zombies. Okay, there's a concealed courtyard. That's not going to help anything here. So again, Tim does have that reset button with Fumigate, and once that's done, it's an even board state, and Tim is getting his zombies first. How much that matters, I don't know, but yeah, neither player was really able to answer the opposing Lilianas. Neil did at one point have access to... he did have a Ruinous Path. He opted to kill a Gideon ally as Zendikar, however, which I do agree with. That is a very important one to kill. And if you don't, you... Tim probably would have won much sooner than this. Yeah, that's a good point there as well, Vest. Tim does have that copy of Ormondal, sitting back there, the Westvale Abbey. When it does flip, it is going to be pretty important. So it looks like we have an end of turn Torrential Gearhulk flashing back Glimmer of Genius. Tim's going to be getting 8 more zombies in the process, and it looks like we've officially run out of zombie tokens. All right, so Neil scries 2 and draws 2, and here we go. We're back to Neil now. So Neil's next trigger will give him 12 zombies. Sure. And Tim did find the 6th land he needed to activate Westvale Abbey last turn. So we may just see the line of end of Neil's next turn, activate Westvale Abbey, flip it over, and then, like you said, follow up with Fumigate Vest. So that is definitely probably the line Tim's looking at now. And Billy the Kid, another good point as well. Neil, of course, being the blue control deck, does get access to counter spells. Tim doesn't have that. He can't fight that battle. He's also not main decking any copies of like hand disruption, any sort of hand interaction. He does have 4 sideboard copies of Transgress the Mind, but nothing in his main deck to make sure the path is clear. Again, with Neil only playing 1 copy of Disallow, the Ormondal is likely to resolve, but we'll have to see. So Tim finds another land. So Westvale Abbey is now online. Tim's going to get from this zombie, this trigger from Liliana's Emblem. We've got 4. He'll get 16 zombies. Sure. Why not? Tim deciding what he wants to do here. He's again holding on to that copy of Gonti and that copy of Fumigate. Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea, even if Neil did want to disallow the trigger on Ormondal. Really isn't that great because Tim can just do it again the next turn. It's not like he's losing many creatures here, but it is a possibility. Did Tim miss his Liliana Emblem trigger? Oh no, this is his end step, it looks like. Neil's casting another Glimmer of Genius here. Looks like he likes one of them, but the other one not so much. He's going to put one on top, one on bottom. I believe we still have Tim's trigger to resolve here. Yeah, he's going to get a bunch more zombies. I believe 14 more was the number. Yep, that's a lot of zombies. So Tim right now with 28 zombies in play. Neil, on the other hand, has 26. Sorry, 22. And this is the turn that we may see Tim try to close the game, essentially. Neil, I don't think, has an answer to a flipped Westvale Abbey. No, he's not. Yeah, he's not in white, so he doesn't get to play things like Blessed Alliance, or yeah, that's about it. Ormondal being indestructible is going to matter here. And yeah, like yeah, but the problem is, Billy, again, Tim gets to Fumigate afterwards and go to essentially infinite in this case. Now, Neil can, of course, counter that Fumigate. Yeah, I guess Double Grasp does still kill Ormondal. Because he's a 9/7, right? So, yeah. Tim is playing one copy of Westvale Abbey Vest. So he found his one of, which I feel like is the card that is going to break this mirror, but it has to get to a spot where it matters. We're running out of dice as well, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, that's all but one of our dice that we have at our feature match area there. So, yeah, the making the cleric is interesting. Tim drew a copy of Gideon, though. That's pretty good. Just make my zombies bigger than your zombies. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you're playing it for, is like the mirror breaker, it seems like having more than one would be a good idea. But yeah, like you said as well, you need your colored mana, especially when you're playing like double black, double white cards everywhere. Gifted Aetherborn, Grasps, Gideon, Liliana, Gaunty, Archangel Avacyn. The Avacyn can be pretty spicy here too, but he only has a one of her in the deck, so. And we're getting to the point now where half of the round is being taken up by this game one. We may end up having like a draw here is a realistic chance here. What are we doing? I think to save board space, we're just gonna have a die. Yeah, I think we're just gonna save some room here on the board. So we've determined that each token is going to represent 10 zombies. So Neil at the moment has 46. Tim has 22. Nope, I lied, 42. All right, so each token is 10 zombies. We ran out of tokens and dice, so this is the solution we have. Oh, man. What a round one. Uh, 54 zombies for Tim now. Sure. I don't know anymore. Yeah. How many copies of Counterspells is Neil playing main deck? Let's see. He has one Disallow, 2 Void Shatter, 3 Negate. So he's got a total of 6 Counterspells. He's already used 1 copy of Negate. So he's got 5 left in deck. There's a pretty good chance he's going to have one in his hand. So I do believe that is why Tim is refusing to pull the trigger on his Ormondal here. But if I'm not mistaken, at this pace of play, like at this, not pace of play, but at this rate, with the emblems, I believe Neil gets to a point where he eventually just has enough to attack and kill Tim. Maybe not actually, because his trigger's second. So right now he's got 46. No, Tim has those all blocked. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, geez. Neil deciding what he wants to do here. Tim does have a copy of Gideon in his hand. It might get to a point where Tim decides he may have to try to go for like a Gideon and a Fumigate in the same turn. Gideon will bait a counterspell pretty nicely. Sure, Liliana, why not? Billy the Kid, no, he does not. In his colors, I don't even know what you'd have access to for sweep. Yeah, sorry, I lied. I lied. He plays 2 copies of Yeheni's Expertise. Liliana ticks down and returns a copy of Kalidas to Neil's hand. And actually, it looks like, according to our spotter, Neil's been holding on to a copy of Expertise now for a few turns. Yeah, I thought there's things like Flaying Tendrils as well you have access to in his colors. Yeah, it's the Infest route. It's not. I'm thinking more like Tim's version of the Fumigate. Okay, here's he's going for the Ormondal. Okay. There it is. So again, Neil doesn't have a way to fight this Ormondal. This Ormondal, short of 2 copies of Grasp of Darkness, is unkillable. Vest, I actually don't... I couldn't tell you. Billy the Kid, it's also very possible. I mean, Tim doesn't know what Neil's deck looks like, of course. So, it's possible he thinks there's more than 1 copy of... more than 1 copy of Disallow. But there is Ormondal. So, Flying, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste. Coming in for 9. Tim is going to gain 9. And Neil will fall to 11. Tim up to 28. This might be where he pulls the trigger on Fumigate, is my guess. That's really his only hope here, right? Like... Yeah, the only problem with Gideon is it runs into the same... I think he wants to try and bait a counterspell with Gideon. I don't think Gideon resolves, but... Okay, we're going to have a Gonti instead. Sure, why not? I think if I'm Neil, I just let this resolve. It's not that big of a threat. I mean, what's the worst he's going to pull from your deck? I don't even know, to be honest, what the worst card is at this point. Okay, Neil's going to Void Shatter that copy of Gonti. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Gonti gets countered, so Tim did get the counterspell out of Neil. And Tim's going to get 53 more zombies. Sure, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think I agree, Vest. I think Tim has let it go a little longer than he should have for sure. However, he can also just win with Ormondal. He doesn't even need to Fumigate, because he's always going to have enough zombies to block. So yeah, he's actually fine here. I think Tim will win this game. Across 2 turns. Now, Neil could go something like Yeheni's Expertise, cast a free Grasp of Darkness to kill Ormondal. That would also wipe the board. Everything except for the Gear Hulk. Okay, so there's the Expertise. We'll have to see what Neil casts with this Yeheni. Yeah, okay, so there it is. That's the kill. And I think that may have been the issue here. Yeah, the Gear Hulk lives. It gets to attack for 2 this turn. There's a fatal push in Tim's hand. That doesn't do anything against a Gear Hulk, of course. Attack for 2. Tim will fall to 26. And here's the biggest problem is that Fumigate is almost nothing now. He's going to pull the trigger on the push to kill a zombie token. He draws another push. It looks like Tim's hand is Fumigate, Gideon, Fatal Push. So he might see the Fumigate here. It looks to what the mana's lining up for. Yep. So this will gain him 2. I don't like pushing if that was the case. There just wasn't any reason to push the token. Yeah, Neil has another copy of Negate. And yeah, this was kind of what Vess was pointing out here. This should have happened a long time ago because you've given Neil a million extra turns to find these counter spells. It's near impossible for him not have at least 1 or 2 in his hand by the point that Tim's gone for this. Yeah, an attack. That's just a chump block from Tim, or Tim can just take it. He's at 26. It's not the biggest deal. Yeah, I don't think Tim has a way to recur his Westvale Abbey. He's not playing any sort of graveyard recursion in any way, shape, or form. No, he's not. Yeah, I mean, Tim's going to have to rely on his Archangel Avacyn at this point, plus his Planeswalkers. And Neil is going to sit there under a Gear Hulk, his own Liliana, which is still in play. Okay, so 2 zombies for Neil here. So Tim draws a copy of Anguished Unmaking. This can answer the Liliana. He has Unmaking and Gideon. He's a mana short of being able to cast both, unfortunately. Neil with, it looks like 5 cards in hand, though. Probably won't matter too much. I believe Neil missed the trigger here as well on his Liliana emblem, as he did pass the turn and then remembered it afterwards. So I think he missed the trigger here. But we're going to Fatal Push the only zombie that can attack because it actually has power. Tim will pass the turn back. I assume he's saying end step, trigger. It looks like Neil is going to kill the other zombie in response to the trigger. So Tim will only get 2 copies of the zombies. So it looks like Tim's going to hold up his Anguished Unmaking here. Upkeep, he's going to use it on Liana. Sure. That will resolve, it looks like here. So Tim does fall to 18. The Unmaking does cost him 3 life. But he gets to exile Liliana, which is important. We may end up having a game 1 draw. Unless Tim is able to... I mean, even if Tim finds like an Avacyn here, it's not going to do that much. I mean, Neil... I imagine that if he hasn't already, he will likely eventually find another Gear Hulk to get back a Grasp of Darkness, or even just, you know, have another Grasp or something like that, but... Like, I wouldn't say someone's slow playing Vest. I think it's just both these players have set up their game plan the way they want. I mean, I think with Tim losing Ormondal, it makes it very hard for him to get through. Here comes a Gideon. He has 2 in his hand, in fact. If this resolves, Tim's in a very good spot. Again. I think this was Tim's game to lose, for sure. I think he just needed to pull the trigger quicker on his Ormondal. It looks like Neil is lining up his copy of Bladed Cataract. Yeah, he is. Yeah, okay. So it's going to let him draw 2 cards, looking for a copy of Negate. It does not. It is not there. So Gideon is in play now. This is big. And Tim is going to instantly cash that in for an emblem, which I agree with. We have... So Tim's zombies are now importantly 3/3s. And they're now, for one, able to trade for this Gear Hulk. We're going to grasp one of them. Sure. That's fine. Whatever. Yep, Tim still gets 3 zombies, so... Okay, so Neil is untapped here. He's thinking about what he wants to do in his main phase. Now has to compete with 3/3s. Well, I mean, they're both control players, right, Billy? Like, they're just taking different approaches to it. I think in terms of a game 2, if we were to get there, I probably like Tim's sideboard options more. And I think I'd probably give him the advantage. Yeah. Neil doesn't have a whole lot to work with in sideboard in this kind of matchup. So if I'm Tim, I'm just instantly putting 2 zombies in front of this. Or probably even all of them, because that plays around removal spells. Just jam all 4 in front and just kill this Gear Hulk. And then you win from that point. Did he just take it? He did. Okay, interesting. Like, Tim's next turn should involve an attack for sure. Yeah, Cleus is fine. That doesn't do anything to the zombie tokens in terms of getting him more. I feel like Tim's just going to play another copy of Gideon here and try to emblem that as well. That way your zombies are 4/4s. They even get to kill Kalidas. Well, okay, Kalidas gets to eat these zombies if he wants, I guess. Liliana comes down, sure. I don't think that's worth playing here, but that's fine. Yeah, Vest, there's a timer right beside them, so they definitely know the time. I also imagine that they're going to be, if not the last, one of the last games playing here, but I imagine they are last. So Tim untaps here. Yeah, it's possible he wanted the Gearhulk to die. Second Gideon comes down, and that's pretty well safe. Neil only has the one actual color source of mana. He's going to make a token. Okay, I guess it's mine too. Sure. Tim should attack here, though. I don't think he should pass the turn without attacking. Your zombies require 2 to even try and kill. He's not attacking. Okay, this is... Yeah, this... Both these players are being way too passive. Neither one is willing to make the first move, and that's going to probably cause this game to end in a draw, but... That is a selfless spirit best, yes. Like, Tim should be attacking here. Tim now has the advantage. Like, Tim, I don't think can lose from this spot. He just... His zombies are just bigger, like... The Selfless Spirit will not die to Liliana, thankfully. Thanks to that emblem. Yeah, I agree. Tim is I would say miles ahead at this point. Like the emblem just does so much work here. Angly, it's upside down, so it denotes that it's been ticked up by Liliana. Yeah, it's just so they know which one is being affected by it. Really, how important that is, I have no idea, but sure. Neil's going to go ahead and activate his Gyre Reach Sanitarium, which for Tim just means mill 1. Tick up Liliana, sure. Make more zombies. Sure. Yeah, if we're on the mill plan now, Vest, I really don't like Neil's game plan. Yeah, 2 Liliana ultimates has been causing this game to go on very long, Spirit Chiller. It was turned through Liliana's by both players, and Neil was the only one who had a chance to kill Tim's, but he had to point his Ruinous Path at Gideon first. There is a copy of Gaunty for Neil. That's one more card out of deck, Vest. Keep track of that deck count, all right? Mill could be the option we're looking at. I don't... Yeah, Tim needs to start attacking here. I don't see Neil being the one to attack here. His zombies are too small. Tim needs to start attacking. Like if he wants to have this game end in anything other than a draw, he needs to start attacking. Neil passes back. I think he missed his trigger again. Tranquil Nova. Yeah, that is it is a crazy board state. Sorry, Neil's token is back to being a 10 token. So he actually has 16 zombies in play right now. For anyone not sure. Tranquil Nova, this is game 1 still as well. So this is a very crazy board state for game 1. Just dueling it out here apparently, these two players. So why did Selfless Spirit... Why did he sacrifice it? What happened there? Why did he do that? He didn't... No, he didn't miss it, Angly. I lied. The token he has in play is 10 tokens right now. That's what we're representing it as. So he actually has 16 tokens currently. Tim is attacking. Here we go. We're trying to close the game out, boys. Oh, did he kill it? Okay, I didn't see that. Thank you, Billy the Kid. All right, okay, there we go. We got it. Yeah, sure. So Gonti and Torrential Gale get to kill a zombie each. Gonti will die. The other 16 zombies. I don't know how many zombies Tim has. It looks like he only has 7 more. It looks like that are full attacking. Angley, no, he did it on Neil did it on his own turn. So Tim's tokens are not indestructible right now. Yeah, like Tim will win this game if time allows it, but we're down to 2 minutes here. So Tim does have to close this game out. Now, I believe Neil is able to kill all of Tim's tokens. With 16, he can double block, I think, all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he has a night token as well. Yeah, so Neil can kill all of Tim's tokens here. Tim will get to kill not all of Neil's tokens, but he gets to kill a bunch. It looks like Neil actually let some of them get through. Neil's fallen to 8 here. And how many zombies does Neil finish with? Yeah, Billy, I think I also like getting embleming there because it does mean that you kill all of Neil's zombies. Yeah, he double blocked every zombie like I thought, so that's fine. But we're down to 15 seconds here, so this is gonna... Okay, we'll see what happens here, because Tim now doesn't have the zombie control. Tim now only has 3 actual creatures in play, aside from that tap knight. And if I'm not mistaken, Neil has 8 zombies still in play. So I actually think Neil's gonna win. Because let's see, so Tim blocks 2 zombies and a Gear Hulk, and he takes 12. Yeah, I think Neil just wins on this turn here. That is time in the round for these guys as well, so this is going to be turn 0. No, Vest, because Tim lost all his zombies and blocks. He only swung with 8 zombies last turn. Yeah, that is game. Neil does end up winning 1-0.